Hello everybody and welcome to JGod Gaming. In today's video I'm going to be actually breaking down two different subscriber gameplay, and oddly enough they're using the same loadout on the same map on the same mode. It's going to make it a little easy for comparison, but that's not really the point. The reason why I'm actually doing two different subscriber breakdowns is because there's been a flooding of subscriber review requests, and I don't think I can keep up because I post one video, then I get 10 requests. One video, then 10 requests. So as you can imagine, I'll fall behind pretty quickly, and I want to help as many subscribers as possible. So I'm going to be trying to edit it the right way so that I can get as much information as possible into one video and taking care of as many subscribers as possible. So hopefully you like this format. If it doesn't work, let me know down in the comment section so I can mix it up a little bit. But ideally, this is the style and format I want to move forward with. If you have any suggestions, definitely let me know, like I said, down in the comment section so I can make those corrections as we go. So just before the breakdown, if at any point you do enjoy the video or gain at least one tip, remember to hit that like button. I do have a goal of 150 likes for this specific video. And then also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. The type of content I typically cover is Call of Duty news, in-game updates. I do best class setups for different weapons, as well as do subscriber gameplay review and give tips to improve. If any of that sounds interesting, like I said, go ahead and subscribe with those notifications on. Let's get into the first gameplay. The class setup that both of these subscribers are using is the PPSH with extended mags, grip, and a suppressor, while using Expeditionary for that extra ammo and then able to replenish those S mines. They're also both running Blitzkrieg, but they take a different approach at it. So let's kind of break down a little bit of the different game style as we go through the video. One thing that I noticed immediately right here is he sees the guy and he fires his weapon. And normally it's not a big deal, but if he actually hit that guy, the guy would know he was there and had an opportunity to turn around. So a lot of times, even though he had a suppressor, you don't want to fire that weapon unless you know you're going to be able to get that kill, because any kind of hit marker would have given away his position, even with that suppressor. I skipped ahead just a little bit because you can see how the mind is working of this player. You can see immediately after he gets these couple kills, he already is acknowledging that the spawns are flipping, so he goes ahead and rotates to the other side. One thing that this player does is, even though they're moving around the map and getting good kind of map control and positioning, they don't necessarily go for the flank. Even though the flank is a little bit more advantageous with the weapon, they're still kind of staying towards the middle of the map, which I believe is kind of a little bit of a bad idea. I would have gone around that left side, try to get a couple kills on the flank. Teammate's already locking down this area, and he doesn't use really the bounty betties or S-mines very often. He could have laced at least two throughout that area, and then that would have been able to put him in a good position. Right here you can see on the recon there's tons of enemies. He has double flashbang and the S-mines. He doesn't use anything, and basically gets out of position, gets outnumbered. So I would definitely recommend getting in the habit of using those flashbangs and S-mines a little bit more regularly. Throughout the entire gameplay as I watched, they don't get used nearly as often, and they're not used in hot points, so that he can actually guarantee those kills and get him going to the next streak. Again, we skipped ahead just a little bit, and you're going to see right here, he gets his kill right here, but instead of waiting for the person to come out or go around the flank, he ends up running out, gets an engagement, and ends up dying. Probably should have just stayed back just a little bit, maybe even gone prone, waited for the enemy to walk out, got the kill, because since that's a hot spawn zone, you're likely to get outnumbered. Right here he comes around, does a little bit of an advanced movement with a little jump shot, so definitely some skill there involved. Going back to the decision making thing, a lot of times that just takes trial and error and a lot of practice of actually focusing on those elements. One example is that if you see two enemies, one's looking at you, one's looking away, you're probably going to focus on the one that's looking at you. Take care of the immediate threat, and then you can get a chance at that double kill. But if you focus on the other guy who's not even looking at you, you're likely to get shot by the other guy and only get one kill. So a lot of times that just takes practice, being able to react to the situation very quickly and being able to adjust. This next sequence again goes back to that patience or rerouting. You can see this end up guy, he's spamming that carabin, and then he ends up getting a kill here, and instead of throwing his flashbang or just waiting for the enemy, he ends up running out in the line of sight, ends up getting absolutely demolished by this guy who doesn't even run 4 attachments. So he's probably not that good of a player running infantry unless he just hasn't unlocked it yet. But obviously he's just spamming that carabin. So at the end of the day, sometimes it's better to go around where his teammate was, maybe pull off another flank. So that's going to be it for this specific player's breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and go through the pros and cons with you so we can do a little recap. And quick reminder, if you are enjoying the video so far or liking any of the tips, go ahead and remember to hit that like button. Again, 150 likes is the goal. Subscribe, turn notifications on if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and get into those pros and cons. So when it comes to what this player does well, I'm going to say they really understand the spawns and when they're flipping. And they're very accurate. They don't miss too many shots when they actually line up the targets, which tells me the sensitivity is spot on. And then you can see also this player pre-aims around corners, which is very smart to do. Catch people out of sprint. A lot of times you can kill them before they even hit you with one hit marker. Then when it comes to how to use the weapon, the player uses the weapon pretty smart, because they always make sure that those distances are right in the ranges they need to be. They're never forcing these long range engagements. They move around the map so that those engagements are those medium to short ranges where this gun excels. And the last thing you see on the list there is that they navigate the map well, and that ties in with how to use the weapon, understanding the spawns. But they also avoid that middle area, which is highly likely that you're going to get shot in the back or the side. So very smart movement. That's what they do well. Now let's talk about the opportunities. So that first opportunity you can see there is patience, and that ties back into that carabin incident that we saw, as well as getting outmatched by 3 enemies. Sometimes you got to put yourself in a position where the enemies are coming to you, because if they're running, they're going to get caught off guard, and then you're going to get them out of position. You're going to be able to get those easy kills. The next thing you can see there is streak setup, and he's running a recon, counter recon, which isn't a bad setup, but as far as increasing that KD and actually getting a little bit more map awareness, a fighter pilot would be very advantageous in this scenario, especially if he calls in the recon. He can kind of see where it's at, angle up that shot, and then he can actually clear off portions of the map, so he can control a little bit about how he's navigating. So I definitely recommend trying at least using the fighter pilot. If you're not sure how to use that correctly, go ahead and check out my fighter pilot tutorial. I give you an idea of how to use it effectively so you can get maximum kills with it. And the last point you see there is to use lethals and tacticals, and primarily what I'm talking about is using them effectively. There's certain times where he's not really getting kills with them because he's not putting them in places that would ideally lead to an easy kill. Also with the tacticals, there's certain times where he has a tactical on hand. Pointed out 2 scenarios in the video. There are more, but as we go through it, obviously that takes time and practice, and just making sure you have the awareness that you actually have them. Let's get into the second gameplay. So when we get into the specific gameplay, what you're going to see is the same map, same loadout, same all that type of stuff. And what you're going to see is the only thing different in their running is streaks are a little bit different. They're actually running 4 different streaks, and we'll see kind of how those play in and how this player utilizes them. They're a little bit down a person. You can see this person right here. They're not even using tacticals right here. And it kind of sucks that the player abuses a glitch on this map. If you're really close to that wall right there, your name won't pop up. The guy wasn't running mountain. So it's kind of a bad, kind of sucky thing that he didn't actually throw the flashbang, and the guy's taking advantage of a glitch. Although this player is very good at locking down an area, ideally when you place those S mines, you want them at the bottom of the stairs so they give you a little bit of more map awareness. What I mean by that is if someone's coming up the stairs, they get an opportunity to shoot you in the back before they get killed by that bouncing Betty, or they get hit because they're wearing armored. At the end of the day, you want to have an opportunity to know exactly where they're at, be able to reposition, and then get an easy kill. We are going to fast forward just a little bit because he pretty much just locks down this area following this little pattern, which is a very good thing to do. He's holding down the middle of the map, allows his teammates to move freely around the left side or the right side. As long as the spawns are fairly predictable, he's going to get easy kills like you see it going on right here. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. So although he's not consistent with it, you're going to see where he places the bouncing Betty at the bottom of the stairs. You're going to see how that plays into this survival scenario right here. It was at the top of the stairs. He gets shot in the back and dies. He knows where the guy's at, able to finish up the kills, because by the time the guy makes it up the stairs, easy kill there. So again, it goes back to placement. You're going to see right here another example of placement. See, he puts it a little too close to that spot. If you're going to place the bouncing Betty there, you need to make sure your back's against the wall, and look what happens. Ideally, that bouncing Betty should have been further ahead, and he should have been further back. Let the bouncing Betty do the job. Don't push the issue, and then you're going to be able to come up with a little bit more of those kills. Once that guy jumps up, easy kill or hit marker if they have armored, and you'll get that little bit of a map awareness as you see going on when he does it the other time with that guy coming up the stairs. So at this point, I wanted to point out a bad engagement, and right here from this window to that window is a little bit right outside of the range with the suppressor. Pretty much almost anyone with gun skill is in that other window. They're going to kill you if they have a rifle, a sniper rifle, or even an LMG. So you don't really want to push that engagement, especially with the suppressor. So you're going to see that same scenario play out probably about 30 to 40 seconds later. I fast forwarded just a little bit. Takes out a guy. He's already been hit once. As he comes up right here, he really doesn't have a vantage point of that window. Gets sniped. So generally you do not want to peek that window to window. A lot of that plays back into really knowing the weapon, and the weapon just does not excel at that window to window mark. Also, you're going to get a little bit less aim assist because the windows there is going to kind of cut off the body. So there's a lot of issues with going window to window, just with the game mechanics being a little bit broken in some scenarios. You can see right here he places a good bouncing Betty there to kind of cover his flank. But he gets an engagement here, and instead of running around, making sure he's full health and then flanking the guy, he ends up just running back to cover, and he loses this gunfight. He's really in a bad position there, out of sprint. The guy's in a better position. He's actually in the position that he was before, and you're going to see how the tide's suddenly going to change They're up by 17 points in TDM, and they're still going to lose this match. Watching the first half of this player's gameplay compared to the second half, there's a lot. It looks almost like it's a totally different player. The confidence is a little bit different. They're not pre-aiming corners, anything like that. When you watch them in the building, they're playing smart. They know where to sight in. They're doing all kinds of stuff on locking down the area. So definitely that's a weakness of this player, is actually navigating the map. They're good at holding down an area. They know which place they need to sit, and they protect that area. Right here you can see he comes around the corner. This guy is a little bit laggy, so he does miss out on some hit markers he would get. But around that point, he should have been pre-aiming again. As he came around that corner, he should have been pre-aiming, ready to take that guy out. You see the guy skip, so odds are he probably would have still lost that gunfight. And that guy continues to skip throughout the match. But overall, you can see the lead is cut to 12. So I did want to point out really quickly how he used the counter recon at the perfect time. As soon as he heard recon going up, he got that counter recon. So he's continuing to stay off the map. Pretty much they're only going to be able to hear him. See, the enemy team ended up stealing that care package with the ball turret gunner. So definitely streaks are going to play into it. He ends up getting melted by this guy again. He probably should have placed that bouncing Betty a little bit further back. And as he came in, he would have been positioned better. Right here, he doesn't actually hear the glide bomb, I guess. Could have gone back to cover, ends up getting demolished by that. And you can see the tide is starting to turn. He's by a simple care package, so I wouldn't even call a care package in. And then also right here, it looks like he's having a little confusion on what button to press with the care package. So I would just eliminate the care package altogether. I would remove it from your inventory. Do not run that. I'm going to give you some better examples at the end of the video of what you could possibly use. So I did want to touch a little bit more just on this care package. You're going to see as soon as it gets called in, he ends up getting killed immediately after trying to pick up these S-mines. And then the enemy team actually gets it. When you can see in spawn, if you actually see it, look at it, you can see the drop. It's actually a firebombing run. So the enemy team ends up stealing the firebombing run, and they use it on his team, and they get a 4-piece. So that's pretty much it for the breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and give you the pros and cons, or what they do well and what they need to work on, or the areas of opportunity. So let's go ahead and get into those. So based off of what I'm seeing, I think that this person has pretty good aim. Again, that means their sensitivity is on point. As far as great at locking down the area, when they were controlling the map and locking down this middle of the map, they did really well. So they're pretty good at probably locking down the area, making sure they have the S-mines at the right location so they can actually control the map. And then their streak usage, obviously calling in the counter recon once the recon goes up on the enemy team. And those are the main areas that they do pretty well. When it comes to the opportunities, there's a few more. Obviously, with the streak choice, I would probably drop that care package and either switch it to a fighter pilot, a glide bomb, an artillery barrage, or even a firebombing run. Pretty much any of those would be good for what the class setup you have. And the reason why I say that is because it allows you to get those quick, consistent kills. You're obviously cycling through your recon and counter recon pretty regularly. If you need help with any of those, do ask, but for the most part, they're pretty straightforward. I would definitely, again, go ahead and check out my fighter pilot tutorial, because out of those, I think that's probably one of the best ones to have. Next up is map navigation. It seemed when you were locking down that room, you had complete confidence, control of the scenario. Map control was a key, but as soon as you had to move around the map, you're running through the middle of the map like you can see here, and not really staying towards the edges, and not really putting yourself in a position to flank opponents. So a lot of it, I would just say that as practice, making sure you work on your spawn knowledge and just overall placement and some of these breakdowns that I do. As far as S-mine placement, definitely got to put it at the lower of the steps so that you can make sure you get that map awareness. Obviously, the times you did it, it paid off. The times you didn't, you end up killing yourself in that one scenario there. But that's just a consistent rule. And then when you get into using your tacticals, you just got to throw them on a regular basis where you can actually hit people. Like when you did that opening rush, definitely got to make sure you do that. And then when it comes to changing the class, the suppressor wasn't really useful for the playstyle that you chose in the first half. It's a little bit more useful in the second half. So you got to decide what style you want to play with. If you're going to roll with running through the building and holding down and locking the building, you don't really need a suppressor because the enemies know where you're at. They're going to be coming for you. If you go with the other route where you're going to be running around the map, getting flanks, putting yourself in a good position to actually hit the enemy from behind, then you're going to take advantage of that suppressor. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I tried something a little different here. Hopefully you like it and hopefully it paid off. If you do like this style or you want me to change it or you have suggestions, let me know down in the comment section below. This is where you can give me your feedback and any suggestions you have. Also, if you'd like to have your gameplay reviewed, remember to upload it. Check out the description. I give some details on it. And then go ahead and make sure you comment with hashtag review so I can actually search it. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. Go ahead and remember to hit that like button if you are enjoying it. Please help me get to 150 likes. It'd be very appreciated. If you are brand new and this is your first time watching my video, you should probably subscribe if you're still watching to this point. I would definitely appreciate that with notifications on. We'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.